So we're pretty bored here in Michigan. We're on coronavirus lockdown. We don't really have anything to do. So figured I'd put a little video together, see if I could kill some time, give me something to edit later. So this will just kind of be around my red Jeep that I wheel. So just see how it turns out. Alright, that's my wife in the background because she doesn't know how to stay out of a picture. So I'm just going to start at the back of the Jeep, give you an idea. Probably one of my favorite mods is my fold down gas tank. Costs like $4 to get hinges. That's what the gas tank looks like after you put it through the floor. It's a 20 or a 15 gallon with the Gen Right top on it. Back seat still fits in there. All that. Like I said, that's kind of what you got to do if you want to stretch your back end out. So the frame and everything is pretty much the same in the back. It's as it was from factory. I didn't really feel the need to do anything crazy back there. Originally when I built this axle, I built it for a Cherokee, so it's really narrow. Really narrow. You see there's just not a lot of room up in there. I've just been kind of dealing with it for now. Try to do something different maybe down the line. Outer body mounts are gone in the back. It's kind of supported by the cage, so it doesn't really matter so much. The body is just destroyed, obviously. Put the rock rails on too late, of course. Just did the cage over the winter in the back. Kind of caved in my old cage, so I added onto the back. Put the rear seat belts back in. I still use the back seat. Some nice guy on Michigan Jeepers or something, he gave me this windshield frame for free. It had some rust on it, so he had a really nice Jeep, not like mine. I think the windshield frame's cracked, or windshield's cracked, but as much as I go through them, it's nice to get one for free, just from a nice guy that was, was willing to just give it away. So that was kind of cool. Built my own fenders many years ago. They looked pretty good till I raised them up 3 inches and cut the hood. Now they look kind of sloppy. Did my inner fenders, same thing. Front is stock suspension, it's just moved forward like 6 inches. So over the years, if you've ever seen me wheel, whether it was stock with this Jeep, 37s, 4-cylinder V8, 44s, whatever, it didn't matter. It was always a stock steering gearbox, a stock TJ steering gearbox. It was a short time where I had a Durango box, and I hit a rock and broke this piece in the front, this little dish piece on the front, and I ended up, it was the day of the eclipse down south, and I ended up having to go to the store, and all they had was a Cherokee box, so I traded my Durango box for this Cherokee box that's on here now. Like I said, it's always been the same thing, just stock steering, no hydro assist, no nothing, just stock steering setup. I've been wheeling it that way for 15 years. I've been wheeling it with the 44s on it for a couple of years, down in Harlan, Morningwood, Windrock, places like that, Badlands, been all over the place with it. Never really had a big problem except when I cracked it. I've done seals on it here and there over the years, but that's it. Pretty much always been the same stock setup. The front is a Clayton setup. I've had it ever since the very beginning when I had a Dana 30 in here. I'll say one thing about Clayton stuff, it's the one thing I've never had a problem with. I've been beat to death, and it just has always held up great. The joints are original, everything's original on it. When I did my triangulated 4-link, it's only triangulated upper. The very first thing I did was I bent both lowers. And the lowers are like a chromoly pipe, so doesn't take much to bend them. And the Clayton stuff, it all over all the years has never bent. So these are basically eBay bead locks. I welded them myself, nothing special, just an old set of rims. Got the rings off eBay. Got a really good deal on a set of 44s. So that's what I'm running right now because they were cheap. I think I paid $1,400 for 4 of them. Cab corners here are, well, you get the picture. Yeah, so probably one of the things I'm most ashamed of is through all this, I've only ever had just regular stock seat belts. I have 5-point harnesses for it. I just need to upgrade the seats and weld some bars in, and I just haven't gotten there yet. So my goal every year is to roll less. So maybe this will be the year that it happens, that I won't roll. We'll see. Alright, so kind of hit a few things. We'll pop the hood open and talk drivetrain, I suppose. So you can imagine what's happened to this hood. Also the original grille, several windshields. The grille in the hood and the windshield usually take the brunt of a roll. And I've certainly been through a few. So I'll show you what it looks like. This is a trail repair here. I don't know if I can do it one-handed. Just got to put that in your pocket so you don't lose it. They're hard to find on the trail. So you guessed it, 5.3 LS motor. Pretty much did it all myself. Just regular cheapo air intake. I still run a manual fan, basically because I couldn't tell you how many fans I've seen fail, electric fans. Pretty tight fit. Did my own motor mounts and stuff from a cheap kit. I had to massage the firewall a little bit to get it right where I wanted it. I also tipped it a little bit, just to kind of get the transmission and everything kind of where I wanted it. So this is what it looks like if you put an NV4500 in a TJ. I had to take the ABS box out. I don't use it anyway. Put it forward as far as I could. Just barely had enough room, keep it from hitting my switches. Modified all this to work with the 241 transfer case. So that's what it looks like when your torque boxes rot out and you just don't care anymore. You just weld them right to the frame. This is a Barnes skid plate. It's actually a really nice piece. I've definitely put it through the ringer over the years. As with the drive shaft, you can see a lot of damage there. Couple hits on the oil pan. Luckily it hasn't cracked yet. This is my single triangulated rear. Of course I got the 9-inch 35 spline 9-inch, all that, disc brakes, everything. Short shaft on the back of the 241, works up pretty good. Pretty much a lot of stock suspension components. Those are my original 3.5-inch BDS springs that's been in this Jeep for 17 years or so. Beefed up the 9-inch a little bit. I wore a hole through it, banging it off of stuff. Exhaust drops out right there. Hit that on a few rocks apparently. So that's kind of a little walk around my Jeep. Give everybody an idea what kind of stuff I run. It's just a lot of stock stuff on it. People get all wrapped up in some crazy suspension setups. I just been doing a lot of the do-it-at-home stuff, reusing parts, shocks, whatever I can find, that works. You can run a lot of different stuff, but the main thing is get yourself out on the trails.